Okay, so today I'm going to have a look at this is going to be the final part of a series of videos that I've made about the Proficiency Speaking exam. I'll leave a little card there in the top corner that you can click on to have a look at the others that I made about this topic, about the Proficiency Speaking exam. You should probably have a look at least the last one I made so that you understand where we are. Basically, I'm in the second half of part 3 of the Proficiency Speaking exam now, where we move on to a more general discussion about what we have already spoken about. So basically the examiner will ask you some general questions about whatever you have just been speaking about for the last couple of minutes. So I'm going to ask myself a couple of questions first and see how I would answer them. I'm going to take a look at a couple of questions from the ESL Lounge website. And I'm also going to have a look at how these two did in the final part of the exam, which is always fun to analyse. So, without further ado, let's have a look at some questions I might get asked, one might get asked, in a proficiency exam, in the final part of the proficiency exam. Here goes. Oh, and just one more thing before I get started with this video, I'll just let you know I'm working on a video for David, who has asked me to make a video about listening activities in proficiency, which I'm going to be making at some point this week. I'm working on it at the moment. And how is he able to get me to create the video that he wants to see? Well, he's become a member on the channel, and he's actually a super influencer, which means I will make any video he wants, at least one a month anyway. And well, if you want to do the same thing, if you want to contribute to the content of this channel, if you want to make it more personalized, if you want to get access to slightly longer videos, extended versions of the videos that I'm putting out, then why don't you consider becoming a member and help me give up my day job and just become a full-time YouTuber, because, you know, I want that. Do you want that? I want that for me. Consider it. So for those of you who have seen the first part of this video, you'll know that I was talking about jobs in the sort of practice test that I did. So let's have a look at some typical questions that you might be asked on the subject of jobs at C2 level in the final part of the Proficiency Speaking exam, where they're just trying to get you to have a general conversation with your partner and with the examiner. Let's have a look at some typical questions. How far do you agree that job satisfaction is more important than the financial rewards? Well, I think that's a really complex question, perhaps a little bit misleading as well, because in reality, job satisfaction, surely the financial rewards are part of the job satisfaction. And I think it's not really true that people say they don't care how much they're getting paid, because nobody's going to work for free. Only a few lunatics would work for free, I think, really. I personally, what do I think? I'm not a particularly conscientious person, I don't think so. I don't think I would be the sort of person who you offer me 5 times as much money, but I have to do 3 or 4 times as much work. I don't think I would do it. I certainly value quality of life perhaps a little bit more over a particular financial reward. But of course, I wouldn't work for free. It doesn't matter how satisfying my job is, you know, I would still expect some kind of financial incentive, obviously. So I don't know how to what point I can agree with the statement or not. I think you just have to look at the circumstance in which the given person is in each situation. Do you take the easier job with less money, or do you take the more demanding job with more money? Depends what your needs are. Depends if you're covering your expenses. Can you afford your rent? Can you afford your mortgage? Can you do all of the free time activities that you want to do with the wages that you're on? I mean, it's just a really complex question that people try to reduce to this sort of false dichotomy. It's either quality of life or amount of money. It's not that simple, I don't think. So I'm not sure whether I agree with that statement or not, to be frank. What aspects of a job make it a dream job? What aspects make a dream job? I think it's a really personal question. Again, I think, your careers advisor asks you when you're at school, what would you like to be? Well, yeah, probably a lot of young people want to be, if they're being honest, they want to have a job with great financial or social status rewards, in with what they perceive to be a relatively small amount of effort in exchange. People sort of think, oh, I'd like to be a footballer because I'd just be playing football every day, without recognizing how much effort goes into that, and the real possibilities of that being a long-term and sustainable position to be in. TV presenter, something like that, without again realizing how very few people ever make it to that position and sustain it for a long period of time. What is a dream job? I think again, I don't mean to repeat myself. I think it comes down to personality. How conscientious are you? How agreeable are you? How sociable? How open? To what point? How intelligent are you? I mean, just literally, how capable are you of receiving instructions, internalizing them, and then able to carry them out exactly as you've been told to? I think school, in that sense, and university are really good filters for finding out who are the best candidates, who are the people that can basically work in any field. How conscientious are you? How creative are you? How intelligent are you? These are really difficult questions, and I don't think young people often know how to answer them. They don't know what their dream job is. I'm in my 30s now. I can't answer it for myself. What makes my dream job? I have no idea. I know that I like doing a few things. I have several hobbies, but I really don't know what my dream job is. So, really complex question. I can't answer it. Maybe someone else can. Maybe the other candidate can. Hey, what do you think? Do you agree that computer aptitude is essential for every worker in today's world? Well, as time goes by, there are fewer and fewer fields that don't require some ability to manage computers, tablets, smartphones. It's like, what aspect of life today does not involve a minimum amount of competence at using advanced technology? Yeah, I think computer aptitude, the ability to use, just basic things like email, just being able to communicate with people now. If you don't know how to use WhatsApp, email, social media, are you even able to get a job? You just, what are you going to do? You're going to walk around and hand in your CVs to the few offices that are actually there physically in the street now? It's really, yeah. You go to a supermarket, they're all using tablets. They're all of the workers there. It's I'm struggling to think of a job now where you don't need to have a certain amount of ability. You're looking after children as an au pair. You have to know how to use the smart TV or put songs on a phone for them. It's what job is there now where there isn't a minimum amount of technological aptitude required? I can't think of one, to be honest. So yeah, I really think it's important now. What are good ways that an employee can be incentivized to do better? Yeah, again, I think this one's really difficult because I think once again it comes down to the personality of the employee. So I think some people are really wired to get into management positions. They really want to see that there are opportunities for promotion. Other people are just creative and want a bit more control over the work that they're doing. And don't want to be intervened with, essentially. They don't want anyone watching over them too much, and they want to feel like they have a sort of artistic license, depending on the job, of course. what sectors are we talking about? I'm thinking about teaching. And then there are other people that really want to be told what to do all the time and want to feel like they're obeying instructions and they are doing exactly what they've been told to do, and they want to be praised for that. So it's really hard to say, again, if there's one way in which you can motivate an employee. It's really not a simple question to answer. At this point in the exam, I would just go, yeah, what do you think? I've got, no more ideas there. Okay, so now let's have a quick look at the two candidates here, see how they did the final part of the speaking exam, and if I can criticize them either constructively or destructively in this final part. Constructively, hopefully. Let's see.
Now, to finish the test, we're going to talk about friendship in general. How important is total honesty between friends?
Honesty is a very important thing, I would say. But total honesty, I mean, sometimes there are just small lies to maybe protect your friend from getting his feelings hurt, or maybe just trying to make something easier by not telling or leaving something out.
Okay, so Micah has done pretty well here. That's basically what you have to do. They ask you a question, and normally it's kind of just weighing up whether you agree or disagree with what you've been asked. They're always very open-ended questions that you can sort of speak about the advantages, disadvantages, whether you agree, disagree. She's done pretty well, and when she's finished, she kind of turns to Dan and says, hey, it's your turn, take over. Well done, Micah.
Well, I agree to you to some extent, but I think even though you can use white lies sometimes, I think that honesty is something that really is the foundation of a friendship, and you need to be honest with each other, or else it will undermine that relationship you have with your friends.
Could also define how strong a friendship is. If you can be totally honest with each other, then I think you have a really, really strong friendship. So,
what do you think causes friendships to break down?
Well, one aspect could be that you're too dishonest, perhaps, or let your friend down in a situation he needs help and support.
Yeah, there can be many things that can break a friendship. Maybe if one of the two gets in a relationship and neglects the other. And the other doesn't put up with it, which is quite as good, right? Then something like that will destroy or friendship, could destroy a friendship.
Thank you. That is the end of the test.
Okay, so normally that last part of the exam lasts a bit longer than that. I guess maybe they were kind of running over time or whatever. And they kind of did okay. That last question went a bit flat, because it was a very open-ended question. What aspects of friendship can cause a friendship to break down, or something like that was the question. No, so they're kind of trying to think about something specific, and then they're saying if you get into a relationship. I try to be more general with the answers. As you saw earlier in the video, I was kind of all over the place talking about how the questions are very complex. I think that, again, is a very complex question. What things can cause a friendship to break down? Well, lots of things. Particularly, I think Dan did well. He started well talking about dishonesty, because that's what they had just previously been speaking about. Maybe there was an opportunity to speak more broadly about lots of other things, or more broadly about how dishonesty can cause a friendship to break down by lying, or by saying, being unreliable, saying you're going to be there and then not following through with your promises, which is an element of dishonesty, I suppose. But yeah, overall, what would these two get? I don't know. I'll let you decide. I don't know. This is why I'm not an examiner for Cambridge. That, and I'm not conscientious enough. I don't care about your promotions. I'm an artiste. Okay, I'm done for today, yeah. Goodbye.